So good day everyone. So this will be our new topic for our pre-final week. I decided to pre-record my lecture is for the reason that we're going to have our use defense, practical research to defense uh, tomorrow. That will be Wednesday at the same time for the succeeding weeks. So I'm not around uh, bukas. So I decided that I'm just going to record the lecture and just lead on the activities to you. You have to comply with the activities during our class time in philosophy. So I'm not around tomorrow, and I do believe that you can able to answer the activities for tomorrow, but you can't answer it without watching first our lecture. So again, this is our new topic. We'll talk about a profound lesson that speaks so much about philosophy and personal development. We'll talk about how philosophy influence our lives personally, not only about your not like just talking about intellectual things or things that may found uh, only for logical purposes, only for rationalism. But this topic speaks so much about yourself, speaks so much about your own life, and speaks so much about your own experiences in life. Okay, but before we'll proceed to the details of our lesson today, let me just share to you about Plato's allegory of the cave. I want you to set or fix your eyes on the picture being portrayed on your screen. Observe uh, the picture. I want you to observe for about 2 minutes or 3 minutes. And upon observing, you just identify or look on the elements of that specific art. No? Ano yung mga elements? Ano yung mga objects na ma-considered mo as uh, materially na part siya sa message or overall message ng uh, Allegory of the Cave by Plato. Okay? I'll give you 2 minutes. Pause this video and think about it. So, when we talk about the allegory of the cave, it speaks so much about metaphor. Have you heard about metaphor? Metaphor or the metaphorical inquiry or metaphorical thinking. I guess, and I'm very confident that you have already encountered the heightened language or the figures of speech in your English class before. I think that's a grade 9 lesson or whatnot. But you're already aware about simile, metaphor, onomatopoeia, hyperbole, irony, right? You're very familiar on these figures of speech. But when we talk about allegory, this is somewhat related to metaphor. When we say metaphor, we are comparing two unlike or dissimilar things. Just like you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. So you are comparing him or her to a sunshine without using like or as. Because when you say you are like a sunshine, that is a simile. But you are my sunshine, that is a metaphor. Okay? Allegory is a metaphor. But the only different thing about allegory is that it brings much of elements. It coalesces various elements, more than 5 elements in just one frame. So what you need to do, you need to find these elements which are highly symbolic. Meron po siyang mga symbols, and each symbols represents a powerful message. Okay? So that is why tinatawag siyang allegory. Naging cave siya because it all happened on a cave, basically. Upon that observation class, we can see there a prisoner. Can you see the prisoner there? I-laser ko muna. We have there the prisoner, ito po, and we have here shadows of objects. No? We have 4 objects. I think this is a ring, this is a dove, a horse, and a vase. And these objects are being creates a shadow, because of the fire here. and there are people passing by bringing the objects. And what this represents, first, it tells us that Plato tells us that imagine these prisoners are being prisoners of life. It means that from birth they are already there in the cave. It's inescapable. It's an inescapable place. It means, class, that they are all of their lives, they are just inside the cave. So they perceived reality as shadows only because sa tibok nilang life, ito lang yung nakikita nila, merely and purely shadows. And they accepted this as the real world or the reality. But, sabi ni Plato, there comes a time that when the prisoners have escaped the cave, and when they go out of the cave, they were shocked by what they have seen. No, they saw that the grass is are colored green, the sky is blue, that there are colors, there are shapes, there are void, there are forms. They thought that the real world is just mere shadows, but because of that, they realized that what they have thought for life was not true, and that objectively the physical world is not only about shadows but it is more than, it's beyond shadows. Kaya nakikita niya na wrong pala yung upbringing nila, no, because there is much greater uh, things than just being shadows. Okay, that's why it tells us about reality, that we have two worlds, di ba? The Platonic world and the physical world. In the picture, the Platonic world is what they have perceived as true, no? Because yung mga shadows. But in the real or in the physical world, yung na-deprive sila na makita at the early stage of their life. But they have seen it only in their late adulthood, if I'm not mistaken. Di ba? So, yan, na-shock sila sa reality. So, this is a big question on how do we conceive ideas? How do we perceive ideas? Basically, by experience. And we need to see in order to believe. No? And we before, we're not, we're all guilty of this, especially when we try to examine the existence of life. Because when we're in childhood, I guess majority of us believe about Santa Claus existence, diba? During the Christmas time, no? Maraming naniniwala kang Santa Claus, or that in other cases, some believes that their superhero, Power Rangers, Superman, and others are true or real, but in the physical world, it's not. Okay, these are just mere fictitious. This is just a creation of our imagined reality. Is it real? Does it exist even without a physical body? So those are questions that may point us to the difference between the Platonic world and the physical world. Now, yeah, we have already discussed this about the world of forms and the world of senses. Now, I want you to answer this in a one half crosswise and write a short interpretation based on your understanding. So, just going to interpret, could be in a phrase or in just a word, about what are your idea about body, mind, and including spirit. Okay, again, body, mind, spirit. Body is is within the small circle. The mind is on the second circle, and the external circle is the spirit. You may put the words or phrases that may connect to the body, mind, and spirit within the circle. Just label it small circle, that is body, second circle, that's mind, and the external circle, that's the spirit. Okay, I want you to answer this during your uh, class tomorrow, during our class tomorrow. Anyway, I will just uh, give this to you, and I'll be right back again after the defense. Okay? So, basically, this is about yung soul, spirit, at saka body. Soul, that's psychological or self-conscious. Spirit is spiritual, that's God-conscious. Body, that is physiological, that's world-conscious. And kanina, we have talked about the mind, right? But dito walang soul. But some of the philosophers would interchangeably use or the word mind to soul or the soul to mind. So same lang yan sila. Basta yung soul, it talks about yung emotions natin, yung will, yung mind. Yung spirit naman, it's more on the intuition of conscience or yung communion. Like every time we attended a mass, yung spirit aspect ng buhay natin is nai-emerge. And when we talk about body, this is of course, obviously, yung appearances natin. It relates to the environment. Okay? Sige, proceed tayo. So we're done with defining philosophy, talking about the branches, Filipino thinking, methods of philosophizing, and we're now in the human person as an embodied spirit. Now, our topic is about the human person as an embodied spirit. Today's lesson will help us identify and understand the human person as embodied spirit. That has something to do with defining man, defining human being, person, personhood, and human nature. And we're going to define it one by one. Okay? So, let's define again. Yung man, again, we talk about man in philosophy, it represents the entire human race. No? It just represents the entire human race. That's man. And when we talk about human, that's a term used to refer for various classifications. Okay? Yung classifications natin. So, and species. For a living man, human is under the classification of mammalia. Okay? That is human. Classifications and species for living man, human is under classification. So we try to classify human beings like Ramapithecus, Australopithecus africanus, Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, that is human. But man, it represents the entire human race, no? The entire world of human beings. Now, when we talk about human being, this is a term used to separate man from other human classifications like animals. So when we try to separate from fish from other species, we will use the term human being. But person naman, kung person ang gagamitin natin, it has something to do with the interactions with other people or interactions mo sa sarili. Person. In the person of ganon. So, personhood naman, ito po yung associated with your ethical status within him or herself, yung status mo. Human nature, this is collective traits that form the very essence of humanity. Okay, so what is a human person? Basically, this paragraph tells us that there's a biblical perspective believing that all human beings emanates from Adam and Eve. Okay, that's very basic. And for science, we came from ape under the class Mammalia. So these are accounts, creation story, and the scientific perspective kung saan nanggaling yung human person. But on the other side of the coin, we have also this type of definition which talks about the inseparable rights of human being. These rights that must be considered. No? So we have come to a point that the Homo sapiens, di ba tayo ay Homo sapiens sapiens or modern man, we learn the concept of power, politics, economics. That's why we have leadership, we have economic system, no? We have barter system, subsistence system, capitalism, and others. So, which serve more that creates yung rights natin. So, that can be stipulated in this what we call the Bill of Rights. Okay? And whether we like it or not, the human person are composed of soul, mind, and spirit. Tatlo po tayo. Meron tayong soul, merong mind, at saka meron po tayong spirit. Now, we have two kinds of self, and this is very basic. We have the cognitive self and the physical self. Basically, cognitive, hindi siya makita. Okay, cannot be physically seen. It is the essential components of a human person that deals with what of a person. Like, paloob dito sa cognitive self, ang mga paniniwala mo, pamimhiin mo, beliefs, yung desires mo, dreams mo, and intentions sa buhay. That is cognitive. While physical self, basically, it can be seen, no? Through his or her physical appearance, or this talks about the who of a person, which includes his or her body type mo, strength and weaknesses, and even your physical appearance or aesthetic value. Okay, yun lang. Tapos sa embodied spirit, ang meaning nito, first is, we have a misconception of this. We thought this is an incarnation, di ba, or materialization of spirit as an immaterial entity. But in the context of Christian philosophy, it talks only about the inseparable union of the body and soul. You see, inseparable, di pwede magbulag si soul and si body. No? That is what we call the embodied spirit. We cannot live without the soul, and the soul cannot live without the body. So that's why when a person will die, ano yun, mawala yung soul niya. But we're talking about not the soul na parang yung kalag, but the soul, the consciousness. Mawala yung consciousness niya, awareness ng physical world, but mag-remain yun yung body niya physically, but as time passed by, magka-corrupt yung body niya. Okay, so that is, but basically, we cannot live without these two things, body and soul. Kaya, dyan yung embodied spirit. It means that the body is not away from the soul, just as the soul is not separate from the body. Okay? And we are an embodied spirit. No? We specifically mean that the human person is the point of convergence. Hindi po siya divergence, ha? Tayo po point of convergence between the material and the spiritual entities, that is between the body and soul. So we cannot talk, therefore, of the human person without the union of body and soul, just as we cannot talk of anything without the union of matter and form. That is according to Aristotle. Okay, so that's it. So what is human person as embodied spirit? So let's find out. According to Abelia 2016, she listed actually some of the qualities of an embodied spirit person. First is dapat, if embodied human ka, you have self-awareness, obviously. Now, aware ka sa yung self, you have self-consciousness of to look inward as discovering the presence of self. So, self-awareness dyan, napapaloob yung emotions mo, di ba? Yung identity mo, yung actions mo, yung thoughts mo, yung perceptions mo sa sarili mo, that is self-awareness. Second naman is, we have externality. Ito yung externality, or sa ibang term, socialization. This is the ability for you to connect and interact with another person. That is externality. With other animals as well. You have pets, no? Mga cat ba yan, dogs, and so pa yung mga pets ninyo, that is part of externality. And also even inanimate object, you have an imaginary friend or somewhat. I don't know, it could be your own god or whatnot, no? So that is part of externalities. So these are not only trapped inside your heads, but they are able to go beyond their limited selves and embrace others. So that is externality. Next also, we have self-determination. So the embodied spirit, meron siyang self-determination, or self-determined siya. No, the capability of person to make choices and decisions based on their own preference, monitor and regulate their actions, and be goal-oriented and self-directed. So it means, class, emotions can be controlled. It's controllable. You are the captain of your own ship. It means in philosophy, you have all the authority to control your mind. Again, it's only in the state of your own mind. Makakontrol mo as long as self-determined ka. Ito, napakahalaga. Dapat ang human beings may dignity. Hindi talaga mawawala yung dignity. Without dignity, we are not human beings. That is why, class, no amount of money can equal the value of a human life. This is also the reason why individual rights are absolute. No? Based on the Bill of Rights ng US, America Founding Fathers called these rights inalienable nor inseparable because it cannot be separated from our humanity. So that's why protect your dignity at all times. No, don't lose that dignity. Kaya tingnan mo si Alice Go ngayon, parang yung integrity niya at saka dignity parang nag-lose na. No, wala na siyang moral ascendancy because of some cases. So please protect that dignity, although it cannot be taken away from you, but it might be like being kanang ma-interfere siya, because of some problems or case. No? So that's why protect that dignity. So, kaya someone said this, that if we are stripped of our rights, we are stripped of our humanity. That's why slaves who have no rights are not being treated as human. You know, class, in the Middle Age, slaves are not considered human beings. They are treated as properties. No? Just like your property in your house, your lote, these are properties. And sa una, ginapalit po ang mga slaves. Okay? Ginapalit sila. So that's the reason why uh, hindi siya human beings, but they are treated as properties. Paliton ninyo siya. Okay? And lastly, amidst all of these things, religion and philosophy teaches humans being to overcome our limits. But in, di ba class, in the technological parlance, humans can upgrade themselves. We can really upgrade themselves. Take for example, Buddhism. Buddha, kailan mo ni Buddha, no? Kanang Siddhartha Gautama ba sa India. I think we have discussed this during your grade 11 in your belief system and religion. So si Buddha realized that all people suffers. Maybe in your case, you just accept your own suffering as part of life, but not for Buddha. This reality ignited his curiosity, class, to examine and understand the word suffering. So he left his royal life in the palace and spent actually his life for 6 years in the wilderness to find answers for his questions. And when he sat under the Bodhi tree, yung ngalan ng tree is Bodhi tree of enlightenment for 40 days, voila! He finds the answers. So, the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Paths. So, Eightfold Paths. Ito po yung Four Noble Truths. Whether we like it or not, sabi ni Buddha, there is suffering. Whether we like it or not, you will suffer. That's the first truth. Magsasuffer tayo lahat. That's the first truth, the truth of suffering. Second, lahat ng suffering natin may mga causes, may mga sanhi. There is always a reason for our suffering. Third, ito napakaganda. Although Buddha said that he admitted that we will suffer and there are always reasons for suffering, but sabi din niya, there is an end of suffering. And sabi niya, pinaka-highest pa na truth, there are paths to end the suffering. And paano yun? By following the Eightfold Path. Right understanding, that's samadhi. Right thought, that's samasankappa. Right speech, samavaka. Right action, samakamanta. Right livelihood, samajiva. Right effort, samavayana. Right mindfulness, samasati. And right concentration, samasamadhi. So these are the Eightfold Paths. So try to introspect, no? Saan kayo kulang there? Right understanding, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration, right speech, no? Try to rate yourself. We talk about right understanding. Sir, 8 over 10 pa ako sa right understanding. So, on all of these Eightfold Paths, if majority kayo ng ito, sure ako that you will able to end your suffering. But this is according to Oriental philosophies. There are many philosophies, no, that would talk about the end of your suffering. Okay? But sabi ni Buddha, pero tingnan sa 8, walang right wealth. Walang right money. Di ba? More siya on the self, concentration, mindfulness, effort, livelihood, action, speech, thought, and understanding. So, if you notice, this is a universal principle being taught not just by Buddhism. Class, these are the values what human person needs to succeed. These are examples, even in Christianity, of the power mentioned by Saint Thomas to change ourselves. So if you can do the Eightfold Path, even if you are not a Buddhist, you can transform yourselves from your present situation and transcend to what you desire you would be. Diba? Just believe in yourself. As the starstruck, diba, of GMA7 adheres, karaan na kayo starstruck. Diba? Sa una, starstruck is, sabi niya sa GMA7 adheres, dream, believe, and survive. Diba? So, we'll skip this quiz because we're going to have it on site. Now, this will be your performance task, no, for to be submitted on Friday. So I want you to select an animal. Animal ha, hindi although tao yung animal yung tao, but other animals, the secondary beings, not the sentient ones, an animal or an inanimate object that best represent you, and you will draw that. Okay, handwritten ha, mag-drawing, dili gid pwede digital nga art of your choice, and expound your selection about it. Okay, so wait for a while. Lobat na. Okay, so yeah, expound your selection, and the composition must be able to meet the following goals. You identify characteristics and traits as well as skills and the likes that are similar or different to you, and how have these influenced you. And also identify flaws, conflicts, and struggles you and your selection share, and how would you change and improve them. And last, you need to explain how the selection may guide you toward a higher sense of self-awareness to attain a self you aspire to be. So basically, compare yourself to, for example, if you try to, if your selection is a dog, no, ano yung characteristic ng dog and traits niya na similar sa iyo, no? Ano yung flaws ng dog, conflicts, struggles ng dog na similar sa iyo. So, but it depends on your class. Not only dog, cats, there are unique ways, no, to metaphorically compare yourself to yeah, compare your life to someone or to something, di ba? So, just a maximum of 4 pages that includes, of course, the cover page indicating your name, subject, teacher, and the date of submission. Dapat naka A4 paper size po tayo. And please be creative in your outputs. The deadline will be on Friday, that's October 4, 2024, okay? And you may use my time to think about this. This is an individual performance task for your pre-final term. Okay, so just review this video. If you have some clarifications or confusion, just also expand your learning by searching more on the internet, because there are many researches or supplementary materials that would support your learning with regards to our topic. No? So that's it. Okay, if you have questions, feel free to approach me at school, as well as through the messenger or through our group chat. Okay, class, thank you for your active listening and participation. May your hopefully that you can able to comply with the activities, including this performance task. Have a great day ahead. God bless, and thank you so much. Goodbye.